Hi, this is Jackie for Prescription for Joy. Welcome back. I'm in Africa. I've been thinking a lot about the next generation. How do we inspire them to continue to follow God? Maybe you have influence over children, grandchildren, nieces, nephews, or somebody else's children. The next generation is so important. Children start with innocence and simple faith, but they can be led astray. They need you to inspire them. In fact, in Psalm 145, God tells us, "One generation shall praise your works to another and shall declare your mighty acts." So here's a few tips today. There's a lot of advice out there, but this is some of the things I have learned. It tells us to declare God's acts. So take time to tell the next generation things that God has done for you. Psalm 145, verses 14 through 16. The Lord sustains all who fall and raises up all who are bowed down. So tell stories. Be honest about times when you were down, when you have fallen, maybe failed, and how God has raised you up. You may feel very humbled, but these are stories that will help the next generation. Verses 15 through 16, you give them their food in due time. You open your hand and satisfy the desire of every living thing. So when has God provided for you? I know a time when my husband was in medical school and we had no money. We were going to be kicked out of our apartment. And then God sent a friend and he gave us just the right amount of money to pay our rent. That story is a great story for my grandchildren. This psalm tells us to do this eagerly, joyfully, with enthusiasm. Verses 11 and 12 tell us, speak of his power and mighty acts. So we need to share the wonder of his creation. Tell how he has done miraculous things. You know, Thanksgiving is coming and we could write down all the things that God has done, how we are so grateful to him, and then put them in a jar, have your children and grandchildren do the same thing, and at Thanksgiving we can open up that jar and share how grateful we are. You could also tell the personal testimony of how you came to faith in God. When we look at Psalm 145, we see repeated words like this: tell, declare, speak, shout, make known, exalt, bless. These are encouraging us to open our mouths and speak to the next generation. You know, we are failing the next generation if we don't get involved in their lives. We need to spend time teaching them. We have our own lessons and our own experiences. We have something to share to them to build their faith. So be bold in your faith. And another hint is to take them with you in ministry. There was a time when I took all my kids with me and we served a meal to the homeless at Thanksgiving time. Another time we bought a whole meal and we brought it to a needy family. They were involved in this. I took my oldest son with me to visit someone who didn't believe in God, and he heard me share the gospel. Taking them along with you builds a reality of how they can also serve. And of course, my final tip is to keep on loving that next generation unconditionally, just like God loves us.